As I'm sure you may have noticed, I'm very, very famous. It's really stressful being such an important influencer. With all this influence, I just get hounded everywhere I go. It's really difficult. So I thought, how about do a Q&A for literally no reason, of course, except obviously to put an end to some of the mystery, so the paparazzi will leave me alone and stop hovering over my house in their helicopters. That would be very much appreciated. I was asked some very deep, meaningful questions that will make you question life as you know it. Is this the real life? Is this just fantasy? Neither, because we live in the Matrix. Either that or a very elaborate Sims game. Either way, there's going to be someone sitting at a computer controlling our lives. Someday, I hope we find the cheats. I mean, if this was real life, how could things like this happen? The evidence is all too real, or not real as the case may be. And for the record, if I was in the Matrix, I'm quite happy being plugged in, and I would take the blue pill route for sure. You planning on making it to 50? If the world hasn't ended by then, or the simulation gets turned off, yes. But to be honest, I don't think that far ahead about anything. I've already had at least 5 quarter-life crises, so I'm in no rush to have a midlife crisis. Question or answer? Probably question, because answering questions hurts my brain. Probably because I have to actually use it. How much gay do you have? I didn't know how to answer this question, so I asked someone in advance. And they told me to say 100%, so I'll just go with that. Would you rather listen to Bob Dylan perform Billie Eilish songs, or Billie Eilish perform Bob Dylan songs? I'm not into either of them, but I'd probably say Billie Eilish performing Bob Dylan songs would be quite interesting. My best friend Jadey is quite often compared to Billie Eilish these days, so that would just make it funny. Can you poison lava? Well, I think lava's pretty deadly on its own, so it doesn't really matter if you can or not. You probably can, but it would be kind of pointless. What would you do if you were forced to become immortal? I would let everyone know that I'm immortal on Twitter, and then probably not much else. To be honest, if I could, I'd probably just have a heart attack and die when finding out this information, but I wouldn't be able to, so that puts that out the window. If a talking squirrel with a human voice and a humanish face came up to you and said it needed $200 to save the planet, would you give it to them, or tell it to get a job? If these are my only options, then I would tell it to get a job, because it's highly unlikely I'd give that amount of money to someone. Spending money hurts my soul, so it wouldn't be very good for my health. You can barely claim a mid-youth crisis, so shut your mouth. Or tell me who used that term in a song. Also, what's your favourite song and why? I don't have a favourite song. There's just too many good ones to narrow it down to just one. And even if I did have a favourite song, it would change all the time, because I can't make my mind up about anything. Are you an alien? No, I'm not. I'm a demented demonic voodoo doll, which I think is way cooler. Where did your voodoo doll character come from? Well, Karen has a very strange past. She started out as a random voodoo doll my sister made as an experiment. Then she gave the doll hair so it looked like Harley Quinn. So basically, Karen was a bootleg Harley Quinn. The right side of her hair was supposed to be dyed blue, but turned green because of the colour of the wool. She even had a Harley Quinn pudding tattoo on her left arm, although, to be honest, I don't really know what that's referring to. I don't know that much about the character. I rescued the doll and a deformed Pokemon, as you do, from her abandoned, forgotten toy silo, named it Karen, said I'd make her famous, which is where the name of this channel eventually came around. You know, Hollywood, Karenwood, famous. This making sense yet? At the time, I thought impersonating this doll was hilarious, but I think the story of Karen needs its own video, because there's so much more to it, and this video will be way too long. For a brief rundown, there was OG Karen. She died and came back as a zombie. Then I made Purple Karen because I was inspired to join the Purple Club. Then I killed her to try and make a hybrid Karen, like the half and half one you see now. Because why be one when you can be both? We don't even have any pictures of that monstrosity. In the end, Too Edgy for This Planet made me the Karen I have now, and gave her to me at VidCon. So in a way, Karen is now my adopted voodoo child that I ran away with, and I now impersonate on Twitter as a secretary. Life's weird, isn't it? And this is just the Karen that exists in real life. She gets much weirder in her video form. I accidentally made a Karen verse out of all of this, but as I said, needs its own video. Well, look at that. A video where I actually speak. It only took me, 2 years, but you have to start somewhere, right?